Friday, March 13th. Today, banning paid plasma in discussion. What we know so far about the deaths of 2 people after donating plasma and the response from the for-profit company that operates the centers. Also today, not motivated to go to school. Internal documents show just how many Manitoba kids are skipping out on their education and what may be driving the disparity. Plus, reinvestments to improve neighborhoods, how a new city strategy could use infill development to fund local recreation projects. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. It is Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Imagine that. That's twice in 2 months. There was a Friday the 13th last month and one again this month. So we're going to talk about Friday the 13th a little later and the superstitions around that. But first, we're going to also talk to Ainsley throughout the morning. She is at the mall this morning telling us all about ag in the city. It's a beautiful display set up, kind of giving us an idea of what farming is like in this community. Chicken farming, dairy, cattle, and of course pork. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that throughout the morning. But the weather driving in today, it wasn't pretty on the roads at all. There was a lot of snow stacked up there.
Yeah, it started in the evening and just carried overnight, and there's a chance of a little more snow today as well. Right now here in Winnipeg, -12, feeling more like -21. Fairly clear skies, but yeah, a few scattered flurries here and there. Wind out of the north at 22 clicks, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 81%. Started around dinner time yesterday, a little later than at least we kind of expected earlier in the day, but I'm still waiting on Environment Canada for those snowfall totals. My phone buzzed as we were sitting up there, so hopefully we'll have those totals for you. But streets here in the city, for the most part, weren't too bad, but if you're out on the highways, take those precautions this morning. Now, northwest Ontario, you could still see a little bit of that system that did roll through. As we move through Friday, chance of those scattered flurries throughout the day. Ending this evening, fairly cloudy skies in the south as well as in the north. And as we move into Saturday, clearing up a little bit overnight, but and into the morning, but that's those clouds coming back in as we move through the weekend, and unfortunately it's going to be a little bit cold as well. Here today in Winnipeg, a high of -8, chance of some snow, dipping down to -15 overnight, getting up to -9 tomorrow. But take a look, mid next week, we're finally getting in those plus temperatures with partly cloudy skies and a high of 3 on Thursday.
Thank you, Daniel. We begin with the developing situation from last night. A heavy police presence and emergency crews in Winnipeg's North End. Details are still limited this morning. In viewer video from the scene, 2 people can be seen being loaded into ambulances near Boyd Avenue and Aiken Street last night. Police were on scene and so far haven't said what led to the response. CTV News is following the story and will bring you updates as more information becomes available. 2 people are dead in separate incidents after donating plasma for money in Winnipeg. Health Canada confirms a review is underway into the deaths, which occurred over a 3-month span between October last year and January this year. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the company that runs the operation says it doesn't believe the deaths are linked to the donations.
Donating plasma for money could be banned in Manitoba following 2 deaths.
All options will remain on the table. We're going to await the findings of the investigation.
Health Canada says it received reports of 2 deaths after plasma donations at 2 Winnipeg locations owned by Grifols. One on October 25th last year at this Taylor Avenue location, the other on January 30th of this year on Innovation Drive at the U of M. In a statement, Health Canada said it is important to clarify that the assessment of the reports is ongoing. No link has been made between the plasma donation process and the 2 deaths. Grifols sent CTV News a statement saying every donor undergoes an extensive health evaluation and physical examination before they can donate. Plasma donation is a low-risk procedure with thousands of people around the world safely donating every day. Based on the information available at this time, we have no reason to believe that there is a correlation between the donor's passing and plasma donation. According to Grifols' website, people can make up to $100 per donation, and donors can also be entered to win prizes. The province is not ruling out ending payment for plasma in Manitoba.
Banning paid plasma is on the table for our government. Our top priority is the safety and well-being of Manitobans.
A GoFundMe for one of the individuals who died identifies her as 22-year-old Rodiat Elabidi, an international student who had dreams of becoming a social worker.
Our priority is making sure that families get the answers that they need. So we have 2 Manitobans who have tragically passed away.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Health Canada says they conducted on-site visits at both Winnipeg locations where the incidents occurred to assess their compliance with blood regulations. They say they examined records of the incidents and verified operating procedures, and that enough qualified staff were present. An update now to a story we brought you yesterday. Canadians tells CTV News it fired an employee involved in an incident at its Health Sciences Centre location. Video shows an Indigenous youth and his mother being removed from the hotel room they were staying at while he recovered from surgery. Canadians yesterday issued a statement saying the employee involved no longer works for them and their actions did not follow established policies and procedures. Canadians says it's implementing additional training to ensure situations with guests are handled appropriately. Indigenous groups are calling for immediate action, including quarterly accountability meetings, regular engagement with medical navigators, and a culturally safe complaints system. Breaking news, the U.S. military says 4 people have died after one of its refueling planes crashed in western Iraq. A post from CENTCOM this morning says there were 6 people on board the aircraft. 4 of its crew members are dead, and the rescue mission is still happening. The aircraft is a KC-135, similar to the plane seen here. A statement from the U.S. military says there was a second plane involved in the incident. That second plane landed safely. The Pentagon says the crash happened in friendly airspace and that it wasn't shot down by hostile or friendly fire. Iranian state TV read out a statement attributed to new Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei. In his first statement since taking the post, he vowed to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz. The threats of attack on the shipping lane has caused fuel prices to soar. The U.S. is now easing sanctions on some Russian oil in an effort to raise supply and lower prices. Prime Minister Mark Carney has arrived in Norway this morning for his first official visit to the country. The trip will see him meet with Nordic leaders with hopes of deepening defense cooperation in the Arctic. Today, the Prime Minister will meet in the Arctic Circle with Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. The 3 will also observe NATO troops practicing a military exercise called Cold Response, which will include a number of Canadian Special Operations Forces. Tomorrow, he will move on to Oslo for more meetings, which will include the Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Finnish, and Icelandic leaders. And after his visit to Norway, he's expected in the UK Monday, where he'll have an audience with the King.
In full responsibility for defending our sovereignty. And we are unleashing a range of new economic opportunities.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Carney announced $35 billion worth of Arctic defense and infrastructure yesterday in Yellowknife. The money was set aside by the Trudeau Liberals 4 years ago. The investment includes $32 billion for expanding air bases in Yellowknife, Inuvik, Iqaluit, and Happy Valley Goose Bay. There's also $2.6 billion to build new support hubs in Whitehorse and Resolute. Prime Minister Carney also said he wants to better connect the North, referring a few proposals to the Major Projects Office. That includes the Mackenzie Valley Highway, which aims to connect Yellowknife to Inuvik. A planned redevelopment in the Exchange District could be getting a financial boost from the city. The Public Service is recommending the city provide nearly $1.5 million in tax increment financing for the project at 291 Bannatyne Avenue. It aims to create 9 new stories atop the Sanford Building and Moz Garage. It's slated to include more than 100 residential units and dozens of heated indoor parking spaces. The Public Service notes the project meets several criteria to be eligible for the funding, including the fact it would add residential and commercial space to the downtown, and because it's a heritage building. A new study has found raccoons are not always motivated by food. Researchers from UBC have found that while raccoons can often outsmart latches meant to keep them out of garbage bins, they may also be solving those puzzles for entertainment, even when there's no food inside. The behavior is described as information foraging. Here's a look at what's going on now on Portage Avenue. Looks like things are moving well. The streets are snow covered in some parts, though, so be mindful of that. There are slippery parts in some areas. And outside the city, it's also really slick on the highways. If you see any issues out on the streets, please send us a text at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live this morning at the Outlet Collection Mall. It's where you can learn about the farm in the city. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody, or as I like to call it, my 2-day break from cameraman Kenny. You mentioned getting close to the farm, which maybe it doesn't feel like that from the Outlet Collection right now, but on Sunday, 11 to 6, there's going to be over a dozen exhibitors here from various different commodities. So if you want to learn a little bit more about canola or pork or beef, this is the place to do it. And a little birdie told me that there may actually be a life-size cow coming all the way from Brandon. But this is weather dependent. They tried to get it last year. Same thing happened. So fingers crossed in the 8 o'clock hour, we have a giant cow here. But stranger things have happened on our morning show. Stay with us all morning long.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Daniel?
Not great, Rochelle. This north wind is pretty biting right now, but yeah, not that great. A cold start to the day, minus 13, feeling more like minus 24. Of course, we saw some snow last night. I just heard back from Environment and Climate Change Canada. They don't have a total estimate or a total amount here in Winnipeg, but they estimate 4 to 8 centimeters did fall. The only one they did have was down in St. Pierre-Joli, which was 7.6 centimeters. So a little bit of snowfall. So if you are heading out on those roads this morning, you may want to leave a couple minutes early, get that snow off the car. It took me a couple minutes at 4 a.m., which is never a great time to be outside clearing your car. Getting up to around minus 8 this afternoon. Chance of some more snow throughout the day. For a little sunshine should peek through late in the afternoon. Tomorrow, staying cold throughout the entire weekend. So especially Sunday night, frigid temperatures. So if you are heading out today, make the most of it. And yeah, hopefully it warms up just a little bit. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
A Winnipeg man is charged and 4 migrants have been arrested in connection to an alleged illegal border crossing. RCMP reported seeing a migrant crossing about 10 kilometers west of Emerson on December the 5th. Officers then spotted a vehicle while out conducting patrols, but the driver sped away. Officers eventually stopped the vehicle, which led to the driver's arrest. Mounties found migrants near the vehicle's location, which they arrested. A 31-year-old man from Winnipeg is charged under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. Thousands of Manitoba kids are not going to school. That's what newly released numbers show. But those numbers were not made public by the province. And as CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, an independent MLA is calling it a cover-up.
Thousands of Manitoba students are not showing up to class. That's according to a report independent MLA Mark Wasiliu released this week.
A lot of the roots of Manitoba problems start with youth not being in school. And if the government refuses to do this, what exactly are they doing?
He filed a Freedom of Information request, but was told the data isn't collected. Wasiliu says he obtained the report from an undisclosed source within the NDP government.
They were horrified by the numbers, and that's why they shared this with me. I think they were concerned that the government wasn't taking this seriously.
It reports severe chronic absenteeism rates from kindergarten to grade 12 in every Manitoba school division for the 2023-2024 school year. Mallory Pledger is Director of Programming at Inner City Youth Alive. Her organization helps kids get back to class.
Chronic absenteeism is something students experience when there are multiple barriers keeping them from being engaged in the classroom.
The data shows 15,288 students in the province have severe chronic absenteeism, which means for high school they are missing 20 classes, for K to 8, 20% of the school days. When broken down for K to 12, 61% of these students identify as Indigenous. In high school, 58%. Pledger says the data poses a real problem for high school graduation rates.
That is a cause for concern because it shows that there is something that's not being addressed within the Indigenous community.
On Thursday, Tracy Schmidt, Minister of Education and Early Childhood Learning, said outcomes between Indigenous and non-Indigenous students are inequitable. She points to a $30 million investment in school nutrition as a driver to get kids back into class that was announced in 2024.
Everything that our government is doing is aimed at reducing that inequity. That starts with our universal nutrition program. That starts with treaty education for all. We're working very closely with school divisions across the province to identify what is driving absenteeism in their corner of the province.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The minister said she's concerned about the numbers, but stopped short of committing to release more data. Canada is pledging $37.7 million in aid to Lebanon as attacks from Israel continue.
Because of this conflict, families are suffering and are displaced. Food and clean water insecurity is rising. Hospitals and critical health care infrastructure are closing.
Ottawa says they'll work with UN agencies as well as organizations like the Red Cross and Humanity and Inclusion Canada to ensure aid goes to where it's needed in Lebanon. Fighting between Hezbollah and Israel has picked up again since the war in Iran started nearly 2 weeks ago. A group of students at Old Dominion University in Virginia is being credited with stopping a school shooter that killed one person and injured 2 others.
There were students that were in that room that subdued him and rendered him no longer alive. I don't know how else to say it, but they basically were able to terminate the threat.
The shooter was a former Army National Guard member who had spent 8 years in prison for attempting to aid the Islamic State. The suspect opened fire in a classroom. That's when a group of reserve officers training Corps students jumped into action. They're being credited with showing extreme bravery and courage, as well as preventing further loss of life. The shooting is being investigated as an act of terrorism. A school in the West End was briefly put into a hold and secure yesterday. A spokesperson for the Winnipeg School Division says John M. King School went into a hold and secure due to nearby police activity. It was lifted less than an hour later. Several police cruisers, uniformed officers, and members of the Tactical Support Unit could be seen nearby on Agnes Street. Officers were enforcing a search warrant in relation to an ongoing investigation, and there was no risk to public safety. The Manitoba government has introduced a bill which would ban suppliers from keeping repair parts private. Manufacturers and sellers of consumer products would have to ensure any parts, tools, software, and manuals needed for repairs are publicly available. Details about which goods will be covered and how long parts need to remain available are expected later. The opposition Progressive Conservatives say the bill should include items such as farm machinery. 2 African leopard cubs, 1 male and 1 female, were born at a zoo in Mexico, and they're adorable. They were born last month because of their mom's advanced age. They're being hand-reared with a special milk formula, which would have anyone thinking, is there any better job than hand-feeding tiny leopard cubs?
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
I wouldn't mind doing that job. Some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Good Street is closed between St. Mary's Road and Broadway. Following the rush, the northbound curb lane on Desmarais Street is closed between Cabana Place and Yale Street. And the northbound median lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from Plaza Drive to Manahan Avenue this Friday. If you see any other issues, let us know. Text them to us at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Cold start to your Friday here in Winnipeg, -13, feeling closer to -24 with the wind chill. Mainly clear skies, though a few scattered flurries. Wind out of the north at 30 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 76%. And looking around the rest of the province and surrounding area, -8 right now in Kenora. Taking a look right around Winnipeg, -12 down in Morden and Winkler, -14 up in Gimli, -12 in Fisher Branch to our west, -18 this hour in Brandon, a little warmer, -11 in Dauphin, but colder up in Swan River and the Paw at -24. In northern Manitoba, -29 in Thompson as we speak, Lynn Lake -32, Churchill -33, and -19 over in Island Lake. And with those wind chill values a little colder, check that out up in Churchill, feeling like -46 this hour, -42 in Lynn Lake. As for overnight, few flurries remained from yesterday. We saw that around dinner time. The snow start falling. 4 to 8 centimeters is what Environment Climate Change Canada says likely fell here in Winnipeg. Now, we could see a few more of those flurries today as kids head to school. Minus 14 around 9 a.m. For lunchtime, minus 11. And as they're heading home, minus 9. Getting up a little warmer than that, minus 8 later in the afternoon with that chance of snow. Heading into the weekend, staying below seasonal temperatures, minus 9 tomorrow, minus 14 on Sunday with a little more sunshine. Before mid next week, we finally get above 0. Our Skywatch pick of the day, this one's from Sherry Ann of the ballpark there. I'm looking forward to a baseball season. Keep those pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Well, indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for 2, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. 3D printing could reshape the future of home construction, but experts say it could take years before it becomes common in the building industry. CTV's Sanjay Maru has more.
That was good.
Layer by layer, a robotic printer puts down cement, forming the walls of what could one day be someone's home. This form of construction using 3D printing was the focus of a conference at the University of Windsor Monday, bringing together engineers, researchers, and builders.
There is no accidental injury involved because nobody working there. It's a lot of flexibility in terms of architectural benefit. You can print any shape, anything.
Not to mention, according to proponents, it can build structures faster and at a comparable cost. So with all of those benefits, why isn't this the new standard?
Canada is a little bit slow to adopt, right? So regulatory is the biggest problem.
Lee Newman is the CEO of Artec, the contractor for a 3-story student housing building going up at the University of Windsor. He says one of the biggest barriers to wider adoption is the lack of building codes for 3D printed construction, and he estimates it will take about a decade for governments to catch up.
Part of the benefit we have in Canada, leading the way with this technology is to really put Canada on the map for what can be done following regulatory compliance and code.
But building codes are not the only hurdle. Experts say the way housing is approved and built in Canadian cities can also slow the pace of change. According to the World Bank, Canada ranks second to last out of 35 countries for how long it takes to get approval for construction projects.
Tied to that is a question about the way in which culture changes and the sort of level of acceptance of change of different kinds of builds.
And until that change comes, some researchers say Canada will fall behind other countries where 3D printed housing is already being built at a much larger scale.
We don't use much in Canada, unfortunately, but if you go to US, they're printing the whole community.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
This teddy bear comes with a special accessory.
Even if I only help one kid out of all this, that's one kid who doesn't feel like this alone in the same way that I did, and that just makes me really, really happy.
Maya is a teen who spent her younger years going through scoliosis treatments. Now she wants to help kids going through the same experience. Maya has fundraised for a line of teddy bears that wear a back brace. It's her way to remind the children that they're not alone. Here's a look outside now at what's happening on Notre Dame Avenue. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Friday morning. We'll be back after this short break.
Minus 13 outside right now in downtown Winnipeg, closer to minus 24 with the wind chill. Fairly clear skies, though a few scattered flurries here and there. Wind out of the north at 30 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 76%. Now, we did see some snow yesterday. Came a little later than I thought it would, but slowing this down, you can kind of see how it developed right around dinner time yesterday and swept through the lower part of the province. With that, 48 centimeters here in Winnipeg, maybe a little bit more as we head a little south of here. Today in Winnipeg, getting up to -8 with the wind north 30 gusting up to 50. 30% chance of snow throughout the afternoon as well. Fairly cloudy skies, though the sun may poke out around dinner time. Tonight, low of -15. Wind easing up a little bit, southwest at 15. Partly cloudy skies, feeling closer to -23 with the wind chill. Tomorrow, high of around -10, wind out of the southwest at 15. Mostly cloudy skies. That is well below seasonal averages, which is around -1 for this time of the year. And looking at our extended forecast, -14 on Sunday, dipping down to -27 overnight. Monday, a mix of sun and cloud, -11, a chance of some snow on Tuesday. And then finally, temperatures getting up above 0 mid next week.
A policing expert told the inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson that the police officer involved in the shooting took appropriate action. Use of force expert Chris Butler testified the officer was right to use lethal force. He said officers didn't have a lot of time to respond when the Jeep being driven by Hudson crashed into a truck in 2020. He also said police would have wanted to stop the vehicle from moving, and other lives could have been in danger if they waited. The police officer who shot Hudson has testified he believed it was moving toward other officers. The inquest is looking at whether systemic racism played a role in Hudson's death and if the use of force was appropriate. A new proposal at City Hall would see some of the property taxes gathered from infill developments reinvested back into the community. If successful, the plan would see 80% of property taxes collected from new 2, 3, or 4 unit homes directed into a new fund called the Neighborhood Infill Benefits Reserve. That money would then be used for local amenities like parks or recreation areas. Local organizations would also be able to apply for a share of the money. The reserve fund would be in place for 5 years initially, with an option to extend.
These funds replace what used to be a 10% cash in lieu contribution that developers would make, and area councillors could use those funds to upgrade parks and playgrounds. Well, now with the new as of right rules, that 10% is not available anymore. This new neighborhood infill benefit reserve fund would recapture some of those revenues.
The Public Service estimates it could collect anywhere between $136,000 and $490,000 a year. The Executive Policy Committee will discuss the plan Tuesday. Cancer has been called the scourge of the 20th century, and even now in the 21st, the disease continues to claim lives. Slowly but surely, though, medical research is beginning to turn the tide. As CTV's John Hendricks shows you, a clinical trial at Cancer Care allowed a Manitoba woman to beat the same illness that killed her father.
Karen Formo came back from a relaxing vacation in Mexico and was soon dropped into a stressful situation. A situation that began with something quite common, a bowl of soup.
I got a piece of meat stuck in my esophagus, and I couldn't get it out.
Formo had to get a scope, and after a biopsy, she got horrible news. She had stage 3 esophageal cancer.
I was totally in shock.
And not just because she had cancer, but because it was esophageal cancer, the very same cancer that killed her father when he was around the same age that she was at diagnosis.
Esophagus cancer is a very serious cancer, and it can be a devastating diagnosis. It's considered one of the most aggressive types of cancer, partly because it's caught late.
I just had to grasp it and figure out how I was going to navigate through all this.
She went through 5 weeks of chemotherapy and 23 rounds of radiation, and then a groundbreaking clinical trial at Cancer Care Manitoba. First, she had a minimally invasive surgery.
Basically, trying to core out the cancer from the inside without having to rearrange the body parts.
And then, over the next year, Formo would get an innovative type of immunotherapy, where her own immune system was trained to fight her specific type of cancer. It's a treatment that didn't exist when her father was battling the disease, but it was available for patients like her thanks to a grant from the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation.
And without that, actually, this trial would have never seen the light of day.
Luckily, the trial was able to go ahead, and today, Formo is cancer-free.
It feels great, but I owe it all to cancer research and Dr. Kadani.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
NASA says its Artemis 2 mission is on track for an early April launch.
It's a test flight, and it is not without risk, but our team and our hardware are ready.
The mission will take Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his fellow crew members around the moon and back. The launch has been delayed twice since February because of fuel leaks. NASA now says those problems have been taken care of. The rocket will roll out to the launch pad at the Kennedy Space Center next Thursday. The launch could now happen as early as April the 1st. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights is looking for an artist to help set the scene of a new permanent exhibit. The exhibit is called At the Knees of Our Ancestors and explores the history of enslavement and early Black life in Canada. The museum is looking for illustrators of African descent with ancestry here in Canada. The successful applicant will be tasked with creating about 20 original portraits or scene-based artworks for the exhibit. They may be asked to depict historical events or settings where no pictures exist. You can head to humanrights.ca for more information on how to apply. At the Knees of Our Ancestors is expected to open in the fall. Here's a look now outside on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well at this point. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is rising again. It's now at $1.56. The provincial average is also higher at $1.51. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.52. And the lowest price in the city is $1.41. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Coming up, we are live at the Outlet Collection Mall this morning. Discover Ag in the City is happening on Sunday. We're going to find out a little bit more about where your food comes from. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
A cold start to your Friday here in Winnipeg. Some north wind just ripping through right now. It's a little unpleasant up here, but we've dealt with worse. -13, feeling closer to -24 with the wind chill. As I mentioned, those north winds 30 kilometers per hour right now. Mainly clear skies, maybe a scattered snowflake here and there. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 76%. Now today we could see a little more snow here in Winnipeg, about a 30% chance. Of course, we saw some snow last night. 4 to 8 centimeters is what Environment Canada estimates fell here in Winnipeg. Chance of that snow, yeah, high -8, feeling a little cooler with the wind out of the north, 30 gusting up to 50 in the afternoon. Now the wind's going to die down tonight, but and down to around -15, feeling closer to -23, and cool again tomorrow with a high of -9. And if you're looking for something to get out of the cold this weekend, you should head over to the Outlet Collection Mall, where we're going to find Ainsley McPhail, who's learning a little bit about ag in the city.
Nothing says agriculture like the Outlet Collection Mall, but if you want your kids to know a little bit more, it's a great place to come this Sunday. Angeline joins us now. Sorry if I totally flubbed up your first name there. Good morning. Thank you for being here. We're learning about pork and turkey, but specifically turkey here. And a breakfast sandwich is in order.
Yes, I thought we're here bright and early. Might as well feed everyone here with a really great protein-packed turkey patty. So what I love about protein and turkey in specific, now I'm fumbling things up. What I love about these turkey patties is that they're super lean. You get about 20 grams of protein in them. You can make them ahead, you can freeze them, and they're family friendly. So the kids, adults, they all enjoy.
Oh my goodness. What do you want people to explore when they come to the booth here? Because it's all about education, kids who have never really been to the farm, but you want them to know how it's getting to their table.
Right. So we're here to promote turkey and all the different ways that we can enjoy it throughout the year. Turkey isn't just for the holidays anymore. So how I made these patties is that we used this turkey blend that we will be giving away to people so that they can try out turkey at home. And it's delicious. It's made here in Winnipeg through Spice World. We're also going to have our mascot Thomas here, who is going to be taking pictures with anybody and everybody that comes to our booth.
I love that. What else do you want people to know? What are some commonly asked questions that people have when they come to the booth and they're trying to learn about turkey?
They are surprised that you can get different cuts of turkey year-round. So you can get turkey legs, you can get turkey thighs. It's not just the whole bird anymore. And you can enjoy it in the mornings, which will help you fuel your day. And because everyone wants to avoid that gobble in the afternoon.
What are some other health benefits? Because you mentioned the protein. Everybody wants to talk about protein these days.
Yes, because it really helps set up your day. It helps with muscle and energy levels. So again, it's just an easy way to add it in for everyone in the family.
Okay, say your name one more time.
Valangeline.
Valangeline. I knew it was a beautiful name, and it just rolls off the tongue for people who are competent enough to say it. Okay, stay with us. Your Morning Winnipeg coming up.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones added 87 points. The Nasdaq is 39 points up. The S&P index bumped up 11 points. The Canadian dollar decreased to 73.17 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 251 points down, and the Nikkei lost 633 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. Mounties are asking for your help after several firearms were stolen from a home in a rural area northeast of Winnipeg last week. RCMP say the break-in at a home along Highway 44 in the RM of St. Clements was reported Sunday and would have happened sometime in the previous 48 hours. The thief or thieves found a key to a gun safe and made off with 13 long guns. That includes 6 pump-action shotguns, 3 bolt-action rifles, 2 semi-automatic rifles, and a .50 caliber muzzle loader along with ammunition. RCMP say some other items were also stolen, including snowmobile gear and tools. Anyone with information is asked to contact Selkirk RCMP or Crime Stoppers. An election in Manitoba isn't scheduled until October of next year, but political parties have already started laying some of the groundwork. The NDP government has introduced a bill in the legislature which would require candidates to reveal in writing whether they've been found to have broken the conflict of interest law. 3 progressive conservatives in the former government were found to have done that in relation to a proposed silica sand mine in 2023. Meanwhile, the Tories have revealed one of its upcoming campaign promises will be a sharp increase in the amount of income people can earn before being subject to income tax.
Is one that will actually leave $3,000 in your bank accounts. If you have a family earning $80,000, you will save $3,000. Not a rebate, $3,000 back into your pockets, making life more affordable, helping to pay for the astronomical increases under this NDP government. You wanted real solutions? We provided you with one.
However, don't expect this change anytime soon. Khan says the NDP have rejected their resolution. The Manitoba government is planning to expand rent control, set new rules for grocers, and charge higher electricity rates for some large users.
That's why we are taking historical action to lower rents in Manitoba with the largest expansion of rent control in decades.
Among more than a dozen bills and regulations put forward is one which would expand the province's rent control system, which sets a limit on annual rent increases. Units that rent for more than $1,670 are currently exempt, and the government is planning to raise the exemption to $2,000. And the government is planning to reduce the percentage of upgrade costs that can be passed on to renters. A bill on grocery prices would forbid sellers, whether in-store or online, from using customers' personal data to charge higher prices. The government is also planning to charge cryptocurrency operations and large-scale data centers up to double the normal electricity rate. Finance Minister Adrian Salas says the move would ensure large users pay their share for the energy grid. He's also proposing to curtail power for crypto mining operations during periods of high energy demand. The Winnipeg Jets came up short at home last night. They lost 6-3 to the New York Rangers.
Fleury, Mike Bryson shoots, score! Bryson shot it. It might be Roseanne's either way.
Isaac Rosane, Kyle Connor, and Gabe Velarde scored for Winnipeg. Rosane also picked up his first point as a Jet, tipping in a shot from defenseman Jacob Bryson early in the second period. The game was tied 3-3 early in the third, but the Rangers took control, scoring 3 straight goals, including the game winner from Gabe Perreault. The loss is Winnipeg's second straight. The Jets are now 6 points back of the final wild card spot in the Western Conference. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Good Street is closed between St. Mary's Avenue and Broadway. Following the rush, the northbound curb lane on Desmarons Street is closed between Cabana Place and Yale Street. And the northbound median lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from Plaza Drive to Manahan Avenue today. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, please text them to us at 10400.
Minus 13 outside in Winnipeg right now, feeling closer to minus 24 with the wind chill. Fairly clear skies with the wind out of the north at 30 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 76%. Another below normal day here in southern Manitoba. I'll get to the 7-day forecast a little later, which will show we'll finally see some plus temperatures later this or mid next week. But taking a look around the province today, high of minus 26 up in Churchill under mainly sunny skies, minus 17 down in Island Lake, minus 18 in Thompson under a mix of sun and cloud as well. In the northwest, minus 17 in Norway House, fairly cloudy skies there, minus 16 in the Paw. Chance of a little bit of snowfall there. Minus 18 up in Lynn Lake. To our west, out in Brandon, high of minus 8 today. Still a chance of some snow there as well, much like we're going to see here in Winnipeg. Minus 8 in Neepawa as well. Minus 12, a chance of some mixed precipitation up in Swan River. Too, here in Winnipeg, high of minus 8. Similar around the rest of the region under mainly cloudy skies. We could see a little bit of sunshine later in the day and a chance of some snow falling throughout the region as we move through Friday. Just over the border in northwest Ontario, highs of minus 3 in Fort Francis today, minus 5 in Dryden, all under partly cloudy skies. And our 7-day forecast, a cool weekend ahead, especially Sunday, minus 14 under a mix of sun and cloud. Chance of some snow on Tuesday, high minus 6, but then finally plus temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday, high of plus 3.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Friday.
Rochelle, I'm not that happy with the weather. Daniel, I'm wearing this for 2 reasons. One is to keep my ears warm.
Yeah.
And the other, they're giving these away tomorrow at the Jets game to the first 5,000 people. It is going to be the Hoser game. Thank you, and warm. I can barely hear anything, though, through the headphones. Funny thing is, the Jets, you know, the last 2 games, I mean, it's slipping away, but it's not over yet, Gabby. The playoffs, there's a possibility.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yes, I am. That's her best Jim Carrey right there. But anyway, enjoy these hats. They're going to be fun. Hey, Rochelle, I know you're a bit of a movie buff. The Oscars are on Sunday. Have you seen any of the movies? Because I have not.
I've seen just one, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, which is the one you're looking at right now. It was fun. I had a chance to watch it with my husband, and we enjoyed it. It was really fast-paced and lots going on there. But honestly, that's the only one that I've seen, so I'm kind of rooting for it. I do want to see The Sinners, though. I hear it's great, and I like scary movies. So I'm definitely going to want to check that one out. How about you guys? Have you seen any?
We have not seen any. We went through the list. Sinners is on my list. I'm going to be watching Sinners.
Yes.
But we haven't been great this year when it comes to Oscar movies. But everybody wants to know about the red carpet. Sometimes I like to watch the pre-show. How about you?
Yeah, me too. I love looking at the fashion and some of the comments that people make as well as they head in, and who's with who, like who's hanging out with who that night, and what do they look like. That's my favorite part, actually. And then, of course, the opening monologue with Conan O'Brien is always a good time as well. So I'll be watching that. But I go to bed so early, so I'll do my best to watch as much as I can, and then after that, I just have to turn it off because I can't stay up too late.
Yeah, we're with you there. I like to stick around for the in memoriam.
Yeah.
That's kind of my favorite part, which is kind of morbid, but I say, oh my God, we lost that person in the last year. But anyway, I'm like you. I was going to say, does Zootopia 2 count? Because I did see that with the grandkids.
Oh, that counts. Maybe. We'll have to check
That's about
on the list.
Okay, but
Bo's the one who stays up really late and watches all the award shows, and then he gives me a recap the next morning. So he'll be telling me all about the Oscars this year.
I work with Catherine on Monday, and she's all about awards show, so I'm going to hear all about it on Monday as well. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, you guys. Have a great weekend. An unexpected love story behind a unique garage with a garden growing on it. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
Frida will never forget when she was about 10 and started helping her parents transform their home into an international attraction that would change her life forever.
Well, what happened was my dad and Mama, they were both creative and industrious.
Although he was a barber, Frida's dad, Andy, was able to do this to the garage and build all that in their backyard before her mom, Marguerite, filled it with flowers.
But it did create a lot of attention.
Tour buses began making regular stops on their quiet suburban street, Frida says, and visitors from around the world started taking pictures of their stone garage with the garden on top.
Which also led them into the house because Dad wanted to share his clocks.
Andy had a collection of 400 antique clocks. He'd offer visitors tours of his display in the basement, and if they hit it off, Marguerite would invite them up for a meal in the dining room.
That's how I met my husband.
What?
He came up for supper, and he stayed for 51 years.
Before he was her husband, Finn was a visiting merchant marine from Norway, and rather than the beauty of their backyard, his eyes were focused on Frida.
Good-looking gal. Drove a 58 Pontiac. Can't get any better.
And after Frida performed accordion for him that night, he asked her out.
They may have been a little bit uneasy when I was dating their daughter, because, sailors don't have the best reputation. But they were lovely people.
And happy Finn was Norwegian, because their family was also the founding members of the Sons of Norway dance group that volunteered at senior centers and veterans hospitals.
And they just seemed to enjoy showing what they had and share it with other people.
Which was exemplified by their garden, which Marguerite kept growing after Andy died, tending to it daily until she died at 96.
She just enjoyed life so much.
Although the property has since sold and the tour bus stops ceased, the stone garage with the garden on top remains. Its legacy of love, family, and community perennially there to inspire. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
That's beautiful. Can't wait to see flowers again. Here's a look outside right now on Flavache Bridge. You can see there's fresh snow on the ground this morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Friday, March 13th. Today, talks over banning paid plasma. What we know so far about the deaths of 2 people after donating plasma and the response from the for-profit company that operates the centers. Also today, support for Indigenous mothers. Find out where a new center will be built to help Indigenous moms begin a new chapter in life. Plus, blossoming trees overseas. Find out which European hotspot is attracting visitors to take in some beautiful sights of nature. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba, at 7 o'clock on your Friday the 13th, in fact, and it is a pretty superstitious day. Do you have superstitions, Dan?
Not really, no.
Not really?
No.
I don't like walking under ladders. I refuse to do it. And if someone makes a prediction about my team, I always have to knock on wood. It's my thing. I don't know what it is.
I live with a black cat, so
you're cool with that. Well, we're going to talk about where superstitions even come from, the history of Friday the 13th, why it's a spooky day. We're going to speak with a professor from the University of Manitoba, and he's going to break out that number 13 and why some people just don't like it at all, especially if it falls on a Friday. But the weather, I'd say that was pretty spooky this morning. I woke up, there was a pile in my driveway. I almost got stuck in my own driveway this morning, and then the roads were snow covered and very slippery as well.
I'm happy you made it in. I'd have to do double duty then. That would be something. We did have that snowfall yesterday. Right now, though, minus 13 here in Winnipeg, feeling closer to minus 24 with the wind chill. Fairly clear skies at the moment with the wind out of the north at 30 clicks, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 76%. As we talked about, we did see some snow starting last night around dinner time and fell through over the last several hours. Environment and Climate Change Canada says we probably saw between 4 and 8 centimeters here in Winnipeg. I know down in St. Pierre-Jolie, they had about 7.6 centimeters. So we'll see if we can get some more totals as we move through the morning. As for today, fairly cloudy skies, a 30% chance of some more snow falling here in Winnipeg and throughout much of southern Manitoba. But yeah, those clouds kicking around for most of the day. Now, around dinner time, we could see a little bit more sunshine before the sun dips for the evening and heading into Saturday night. Again, partly cloudy skies, clearing out Saturday morning for a bit, but more snow could come to parts of western Manitoba. And heading into Sunday, clearing out, but cooling off as we move into the next week. Today, high of -8 here in Winnipeg, -15 tonight, getting up to -9 tomorrow. As we look towards next week, -11 on Monday under partly sunny skies, chance of some snow on Tuesday, and all the way up to +3 on Thursday under a mix of sun and cloud. Our weather art of the day is from 8-year-old Taylin. Looks like the sun peeking out from the water there. You can send your child's weather art of the day to by going to our website, filling out the form, and your art could be shown here on Your Morning Winnipeg, and we'll also enter you into a monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
We begin with a developing situation from last night, a heavy police presence and emergency crews in Winnipeg's North End. Details are still limited this morning. In viewer video from the scene, 2 people can be seen being loaded into ambulances near Boyd Avenue and Aiken Street last night. Police were on scene and so far haven't said what led to the response. CTV News is following the story and will bring you updates as more information becomes available. 2 people are dead in separate incidents after donating plasma for money in Winnipeg. Health Canada confirms a review is underway into the deaths which occurred over a 3-month span between October last year and January this year. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the company that runs the operation says it doesn't believe the deaths are linked to the donations.
Donating plasma for money could be banned in Manitoba following 2 deaths.
All options will remain on the table. We're going to await the findings of the investigation.
Health Canada says it received reports of 2 deaths after plasma donations at 2 Winnipeg locations owned by Griffles. One on October 25th last year at this Taylor Avenue location, the other on January 30th of this year on Innovation Drive at the U of M. In a statement, Health Canada said it is important to clarify that the assessment of the reports is ongoing. No link has been made between the plasma donation process and the 2 deaths. Griffles sent CTV News a statement saying every donor undergoes an extensive health evaluation and physical examination before they can donate. Plasma donation is a low-risk procedure with thousands of people around the world safely donating every day. Based on the information available at this time, we have no reason to believe that there is a correlation between the donor's passing and plasma donation. According to Griffles' website, people can make up to $100 per donation, and donors can also be entered to win prizes. The province is not ruling out ending payment for plasma in Manitoba.
Banning paid plasma is on the table for our government. Our top priority is the safety and well-being of Manitobans.
A GoFundMe for one of the individuals who died identifies her as 22-year-old Rodiat Alabidi, an international student who had dreams of becoming a social worker.
Our priority is making sure that families get the answers that they need. So we have 2 Manitobans who have tragically passed away.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Health Canada says they conducted on-site visits at both Winnipeg locations where the incidents occurred to assess their compliance with blood regulations. They say they examined records of the incidents and verified operating procedures and that enough qualified staff were present. A new centre will help support Indigenous mothers and their babies through the first months of life.
The goal is simple but powerful: to support mothers so that they can keep their babies.
The province is providing $2.5 million to Blue Thunderbird Family Care to purchase and renovate a property to create the Minoweo-Ki-Kwayak Mothering Center. The 6-bedroom home will provide space for mothers and children before birth and after, along with a shared kitchen and dining space and community-led support programming. Mothers and their babies will be able to live at the center for 3 to 6 months.
It represents a shift from apprehension to prevention and to support. It's systems change, but at the most human level. Because when a mother reconnects to community, that strength carries forward to all of us.
The Mothering Center is expected to start welcoming families there this summer. Breaking news, the U.S. military says 4 people have died after one of its refueling planes crashed in western Iraq. A post from CENTCOM this morning says there were 6 people on board the aircraft, 4 of its crew members are dead, and the rescue mission is still happening. The aircraft is a KC-135, similar to the plane seen here. A statement from the U.S. military said there was a second plane involved in the incident. That second plane landed safely. The Pentagon says the crash happened in friendly airspace and that it wasn't shot down by hostile or friendly fire. Iranian state TV read out a statement attributed to new Supreme Leader Mujtaba Khamenei. In his first statement since taking the post, he vowed to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz. The threats of attack on the shipping lane has caused fuel prices to soar. The U.S. is now easing sanctions on some Russian oil in an effort to raise supply and lower prices. Police have found an SUV linked to the week's shooting outside the U.S. consulate in Toronto. Police say suspects used this white SUV to flee the scene after firing shots at the consulate. It's a white Honda CR-V, which investigators say was stolen before the shooting. 2 suspects are still on the loose. A rural corner of Catalonia has turned pink as their fruit trees come into blossom. Local officials believe 20,000 people come out every year to take in the sights. Their peach and nectarine trees are at their peak bloom right now. The display is even sometimes compared to the famous cherry blossom season in Japan. This is part of a 15-year effort to promote fruit tourism in a part of Catalonia that previously wasn't a tourism hotspot. Here's a look at what's happening now at Keniston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well despite the little bit of snow on the streets right now. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please send us a text.
With no end in sight, the war in Iran is likely to cast a shadow over the mandatory review of the Canada-U.S.-Mexico Agreement on Trade, but could ultimately offer Canada more leverage in those talks, according to one expert. If you're sitting in Washington and you're seeing what's happening to global markets, you're going to be looking at your secure producers and suppliers perhaps slightly differently from the way you might have been looking at them before the conflict began, which was solely in tariff terms, said Fen Osler Hampson, a professor of international affairs at Carleton University in Ottawa and co-chair of the expert group on Canada-U.S. relations. Honda shares are down after the Japanese automaker said it anticipated up to $15.7 billion U.S. in expenses and losses related to the reassessment of its electric vehicle strategy. Honda says it decided to cancel the launches and development of some models in response to a slowdown in the North American EV market, and the company also expects to book impairment losses on investments in China due to heightened competition. This would be the first loss for the company since it started reporting 50 years ago. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
This weekend, you could go to the mall and learn about where your food comes from. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. The event is called Discover Ag in the City, and those city kids come on down to the outlet collection this Sunday for some education on the various commodities. There's going to be 16 different exhibitors, and there's fun activities, giveaways, even face painting. And I want to tell you about something really cool happening in the morning, too. It's called Food Fight. The U of M's Food and Agricultural Department is developing a food product, and there's going to be displays and even judges deciding which ones are going to be, the winners. It's not the traditional food fight that you would think of, but it's definitely cool and an educational experience. It's happening from 11 to 6.
All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Daniel Homerson is there, braving the cold, because it is a chilly start today.
It is. It's really that wind once again playing a little bit of a role. Now, no food fights out here today, but you could have a snowball fight. We did see 4 to 8 centimeters fall here in Winnipeg yesterday. Right now, though, minus 14, feeling more like minus 24. Fairly clear skies. Can see the sun just poking out a little bit. The wind, though, out of the north, 24, gusting up to 38. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 75%. Could see a little bit more snow as we move through Friday. Nothing significant, but there is that chance. It's going to get up to around minus 8 this afternoon. Still feeling more like minus 13. Now, the average for this time of year is around minus 1, so well below that, and it's going to remain that way as we get into the weekend. So egg in the city down at the outlet mall is a great way to spend Sunday, because that's going to be a pretty cool day. And getting even colder Sunday night, so looking ahead to next next week. Again, below seasonal average temperatures until we hit the midweek. And yeah, plus temperatures are going to be a great thing. But that's it for now. We'll be right back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Well, it's time for our question of the day. Tomorrow is Pi Day, and that's P-I. That means 3.14, etc., which, of course, is March 14th. It's a day that combines fun, education, and pie, like the kind you eat. So we want to know, what's your favorite pie? Any best flavor or type? Let us know, please. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Morning. A school in the West End was briefly put into a hold and secure yesterday. A spokesperson for the Winnipeg School Division says John M. King School went into a hold and secure due to nearby police activity. It was lifted less than an hour later. Several police cruisers, uniformed officers, and members of the Tactical Support Unit could be seen nearby on Agnes Street. Officers were enforcing a search warrant in relation to an ongoing investigation, and there was no risk to public safety. More money could be earmarked for the redevelopment of the Marlborough Hotel if a proposal at City Hall is approved. Centre Venture Development Corporation is requesting an additional $5 million from the Housing Accelerator Fund. The project includes converting the 110-year-old heritage building into 307 housing units. The development will also include bars, restaurants, and a Skyview banquet hall. 40 affordable units are also being included. The Executive Policy Committee will vote on the matter Tuesday. The Manitoba government has introduced a bill which would ban suppliers from keeping repair parts private. Manufacturers and sellers of consumer products would have to ensure any parts, tools, software, and manuals needed for repairs are publicly available. Details about which goods will be covered and how long parts need to remain available are expected later. The opposition Progressive Conservatives say the bill should include items such as farm machinery. A planned redevelopment in the Exchange District could be getting a financial boost from the city. The Public Service is recommending the city provide nearly $1.5 million in tax increment financing for the project at 291 Bannatyne Avenue. It aims to create 9 new stories atop the Sanford Building and Ma's Garage. It's slated to include more than 100 residential units and dozens of heated indoor parking spaces. The Public Service notes the project meets several criteria to be eligible for the funding, including the fact it would add residential and commercial space to the downtown, and because it's a heritage building. Here's what's happening now at Confusion Corner. Things have picked up over here, as you can see. So far, we have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive this Friday morning.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment, we've just learned Winnipeg will host the biggest night in Canadian music next year. The Juno Awards are returning to our city in 2027. The award show was last held here in 2014 and in 2005 before that. The 56th annual Juno Week will take place from April the 1st to the 4th, culminating in the awards show at Canada Life Centre. The Canadian Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences say the Junos can generate up to $17 million in economic activity for the host city. Comedian Maya Rudolph has confirmed she's making her Broadway debut. Broadway's Oh Mary shared a first look at Rudolph as she takes on the title character in the show. Oh Mary is a reimagined take on the life of Mary Todd Lincoln, the former First Lady, and she's being played by fellow comedy legends including Jane Krakowski, Jinx Monsoon, and John Cameron Mitchell. Maya Rudolph dons the hoop skirt for 8 weeks starting late April. An Oscar-winning actress may be headed to Middle-earth.
It's really, really wonderful to be here and to be.
Kate Winslet is reportedly in talks to join the Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum. The film is expected in theaters in December of 2027. It takes place between The Hobbit and The Fellowship of the Ring and follows Aragorn's quest to find Gollum and prevent the ring from falling into enemy hands. Andy Serkis returns as Gollum and is also directing the film. Ian McKellen will reprise his role as the wizard Gandalf, and Elijah Wood is back as Frodo Baggins. And K-pop Demon Hunter fans are drinking up this news. Demon Hunters will officially return with a sequel. It's co-written and directed by the original creator, Maggie Kang. The film is Netflix's most watched movie of all time. Golden became the first K-pop song in history to win a Grammy Award. There's no release date yet, but it's now in the works.
You think we're just gonna let you...
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
Your Friday primetime lineup kicks off with Celebrity Jeopardy at 7, Happy's Place and Stumble follows at 8, and Boston Blue winds up at 10 o'clock. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Minus 14 outside in Winnipeg right now, feeling closer to minus 24 with that wind chill. The wind out of the north at 24, gusting up to 38 under mainly clear skies. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 75%. Chance of a little more snowfall here in southern Manitoba today. Right now, minus 12 in the Morden-Winkler area, minus 12 in Portage as well. A little cooler, minus 14 in Gimli. To our west out in Brandon, minus 19 at 7 a.m., minus 11 in Dauphin. Cold up in the Paw, minus 23. And in northern Manitoba, minus 17 or minus 32. I don't know where I saw 17, but minus 32 in Thompson, as well as up in Lynn Lake, minus 34 in Churchill. And with those wind chill values there, feeling like minus 45, minus 41 in Gillam with the wind chill as well. So cool start to Friday here in Manitoba. As I mentioned, we could see a little bit more snowfall. So as kids head to school around 9, minus 14, that 30% chance of snow. Similar around noon, minus 11, and as they're heading home, around minus 9, getting up to around minus 8 today. Again, that chance of snow dipping down to minus 15 tonight. Over the weekend, some sunnier skies, but high of minus 14 on Sunday. Warming up, though, as we head into the next week. And our Skywatch pick of the day is from Sherry Ann. You can see Blue Cross Park there with the sun popping out. Keep those pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
March 13th, 1971, Paul Rose was sentenced to life in prison for the murder of Quebec Labour Minister Pierre Laporte. The killing took place during the October crisis after Laporte was kidnapped by members of the Front de Libération du Québec. March 13th, 1984, veteran NDP MP Stanley Knowles was named an honorary officer of the Commons after 38 years of service. The Winnipeg North Centre member was later appointed an officer of the Order of Canada the following year. March 13th, 2013, astronaut Chris Hadfield became the first Canadian to command the International Space Station. During his mission, he recorded the first music video filmed in space, a cover of David Bowie's A Space Oddity. When it comes to finding things criminals try to hide, Ottawa police have a secret weapon. Her name is Piper, a K-9 trained to find digital devices like hard drives and AirTags officers sometimes miss. CTV's Katie Griffin has more.
Let's go to work. Let's go to work. See?
And just like that, Piper's off searching for hidden items.
She already found something. So what she would do is she sits, show me, and then she'll point her nose right at it. Good girl.
Concealed in these cushions, a cell phone.
So Piper is an electronic storage detection canine.
She's trained to pick up the scent of a chemical used when the devices are manufactured, something humans can't smell, helping investigators in the Ottawa Police Child Exploitation Unit find crucial digital digital evidence.
A lot of these people hide these devices from us, but also from their family members. So when we go in there to attempt to find these devices, it makes it problematic when they are trying to conceal it. So Piper comes with us to these search warrants. Pretty much on every single one of them, she's indicated on something that an investigator has missed. So she has been very valuable to us.
Items like USBs and SD cards, no match for this nose.
So she's able to tell that odor is coming from above the fridge because the odor of this chemical is heavier than air, so it will trickle down.
Piper is also a trained therapy dog.
You can imagine the things that we come across, but also for any victims that we are dealing with as well. It comforts them. And we just had an incident a month ago where some child came in and she said if it wasn't for Piper, she wouldn't have spoken out. So she's definitely doing her job and she's doing it great.
And when she's done work, it's time to play or take a well-deserved nap.
Yeah.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Well, it's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Snow. This 6-year-old girl is a sweet and curious cat. She likes to observe and participate in daily activities. Snow has a loyal heart, making her a perfect companion to those she trusts. Next up is Rubble. This 8-year-old boy is calm and will enjoy spending his days relaxing by your side. Rubble is a gentle giant. He enjoys simple things in life like gentle walks, cozy naps, and good company. And meet Wiley E. Coyote. At just 7 months old, this lovely boy truly believes he's a lap dog. Wiley loves cuddles and downtime, but he's also ready for adventure anytime. He's the kind of pup who's happy to do it all. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is there on your screen. Coming up, we are live at the mall this morning at the Outlet Collection Mall for Discover Ag in the City. We're going to find out more on what's happening Sunday. Stay with us. Discover Ag in the City is back this year. It's happening on Sunday. We're going to learn all about the different farming sectors in our province. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and we got to start them young. You know what I mean? Even University of Manitoba, they've well over almost 2 decades, they've been doing the food fight. Crystal Jorgensen is joining us now, and she's going to tell us all about it. What's the food fight, and how can people actually take a look at it this Sunday?
Yeah, it kind of makes people interested. They think that we're going to be throwing some food around, but that's not the case. What it is, it's this class at the university called Food Product Development, where the students are developing brand new food products. So they have to design a food product. They have to think about the packaging, the audiences that they're going to sell it to, and then at the end of the year they present it back to the class. But we thought it would be really fun to bring them out into the public and pitch it to a panel of judges. So that's what we're doing here Sunday morning at 11 a.m. We're going to be the first ones out of the gate. We're going to have 5 teams come out, and they're going to bring their food products out, and this brave panel of judges are going to sample it and then pick a winner. It's a great experience for those students.
Sounds like a lot of pressure. What are some examples of different food products you've seen in the past?
Yeah, they are really creative. They've come up with snack foods, with drinks. Protein has been a big popular choice. But a couple of the really interesting ones, one year there was edible birthday candles, which I thought was a really unique product. Another year, a group came up with a dehydrated ketchup, so that was really good for taking camping. Yeah, so they're really creative with their thinking.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to food business, is that the whole idea especially when you got a lot of young kids coming in here, is that the idea is to get them engaged and involved?
Yeah, we're really wanting young people to think about all the career options that are out there, and the food industry is such a huge part of the Manitoba economy. So getting young people thinking about, well, I could be a food scientist or a nutritionist or a dietitian, just lots of things. There's many, many different careers that students could be thinking about.
Well, if that is the case, if there's any part-time professional ice cream eaters in Manitoba, I know a sampler who would be willing.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. And Daniel Homerson now with weather. It's going to be cool today. That wind is certainly sharp.
Yeah, nothing to write home about today for sure. Typical. But minus 14 right now here in Winnipeg. Feeling closer to minus 24. The sun slowly rising there under mainly clear skies. The wind out of the north at 24. Gusting up to 38, pressure rising, humidity sitting at 75%. We saw that snow last night. We could see a little more snow here today. Not too much to show you on the Skywatch satellite. few scattered flurries here and there throughout southern Manitoba, and the day ahead, -8, going to feel closer to -13 this afternoon, but that wind 30 gusting up to 50. A chance of some light snow throughout the rest of the afternoon. This evening clearing up a little bit and the wind dying down, dipping down to -15 overnight. Wind out of the southwest at 15 under partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow getting up to around -9. That wind remaining a little bit lighter than we've seen the last couple of days. Mostly cloudy, though hopefully a little sunshine poking out. And taking a look at your 7-day forecast, -14 on Sunday under a mix of sun and cloud. Very cold Sunday night, -27, getting up to -11 on Monday. Tuesday, chance of some snow as well. But then Wednesday, Thursday, finally above zero with a mix of sun and cloud, including +3 on Thursday.
Mounties are asking for your help after several firearms were stolen from a home in a rural area northeast of Winnipeg last week. RCMP say the break-in at a home along Highway 44 in the RMF St. Clements was reported Sunday and would have happened sometime in the previous 48 hours. The thief or thieves found a key to a gun safe and made off with 13 long guns. That includes 6 pump-action shotguns, 3 bolt-action rifles, 2 semi-automatic rifles, and a .50 caliber muzzle loader along with ammunition. RCMP say some other items were also stolen, including snowmobile gear and tools. Anyone with information is asked to call Selkirk RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A Winnipeg man is charged and 4 migrants have been arrested in connection to an alleged illegal border crossing. RCMP reported seeing a migrant crossing about 10 kilometers west of Emerson on December the 5th. Officers then spotted a vehicle while out conducting patrols, but the driver sped away. Officers eventually stopped the vehicle, which led to the driver's arrest. Mounties found 4 migrants near the vehicle's location, which they arrested. A 31-year-old man from Winnipeg is charged under the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. A policing expert told the inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson that the police officer involved in the shooting took appropriate action. Use of force expert Chris Butler testified the officer was right to use lethal force. He said officers didn't have a lot of time to respond when the Jeep being driven by Hudson crashed into a truck in 2020. He also said police would have wanted to stop the vehicle from moving and other lives could have been in danger if they waited. The police officer who shot Hudson has testified he believed it was moving toward other officers. The inquest is looking at whether systemic racism played a role in Hudson's death and if the use of force was appropriate. Prime Minister Mark Carney is now on his way to the Arctic Circle after arriving in Oslo earlier this morning. That was him boarding a military aircraft just before 5 a.m. this morning. This is the first of 3-day trip to Norway, which will see him meet with Nordic leaders with hopes of deepening defense cooperation in the Arctic. Today, the Prime Minister will meet in the Arctic Circle with Norwegian Prime Minister Jonas Gahr Støre and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. The three will also observe NATO troops practicing a military exercise called Cold Response, which will include a number of Canadian Special Operations Forces. Tomorrow, he will move on to Oslo for more meetings, which will include the Norwegian, Swedish, Danish, Finnish, and Icelandic leaders. After his visit to Norway, he's expected in the UK Monday, where he'll have an audience with the King. The federal government has introduced new legislation giving law enforcement new power to access evidence online and investigate threats quicker.
Not about surveillance of Canadians going on about their daily lives. It is about keeping Canadians safe in the online space.
This is the government's second try at this lawful access legislation. Their first try didn't go over well with privacy advocates and forced them back to the drawing board. The bill, called Bill C-22, proposes to grant police to lawfully access information from telecommunications companies. If passed, it would require companies to confirm if they provide service to a suspected person, and police could seek access to that person's name, address, and phone number. This stowaway really is a sly fox. A red fox somehow slipped onto a cargo ship traveling from Southampton, England to New York City. It's now living at the Bronx Zoo and appears to be healthy after medical examinations. It's also not clear how it got on board the ship. They'll sort out a long-term home for him once he clears some more medical tests. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. The southbound curb lane on Good Street is closed between St. Mary Avenue and Broadway. Following the rush, the northbound curb lane on Desmarons Street is closed between Cabana Place and Yale Street. And the northbound median lane on Pembina Highway will be closed from Plaza Drive to Manahan Avenue this Friday. If you have any other traffic tips, please let us know. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.56. The provincial average is $1.51. In Winnipeg, it's higher at $1.52. And the lowest price in the city is $1.41. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Dreaming of an unforgettable adventure? Well, indulge in the magic of Hong Kong. Enter for a chance to win a trip for two, courtesy of the Hong Kong Tourism Board. The prize includes round-trip flights on Cathay Pacific, 4 luxurious nights at the Park Lane, Hong Kong, $1,000 spending money, and a 3-day pass granting access to over 20 amazing attractions. Explore vibrant markets and serene temples, indulge in world-class cuisine, and take in breathtaking views. Enter online at ctvwinnipeg.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Good luck. Here's a look outside right now. That gorgeous sky is pink and beautiful, but it's cool out there with -14 being the temperature, with the wind chill feels more like -24. More Your Morning Winnipeg after this.
Still cold, but a little brighter outside. -14, feeling more like -24 under faintly clear skies. Wind out of the north at 24, gusting up to 38 clicks. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 75%. Cold one here in Winnipeg and much of Manitoba today. Below seasonal average temperatures as we head into the weekend. Taking a look around the province, highs of -25 up in Churchill today, under a mix of sun and cloud, -21 in Gillam, -17 in Island Lake, and -18 in Thompson, all under a mix of sun and cloud. Up in the northwest, a little cloudier in Norway House, -17. Chance of some snow in Flin Flon and the Paw today, -17, -16 there. A little cooler at -18 up in Lynn Lake. To our west out in Brandon and the surrounding area, -8, -8 in Neepawa as well, under cloudy skies. Chance of some snow there as well, about the same chance we're going to see here in Winnipeg and the surrounding area. A little cooler up in Swan River at -12. Here in Winnipeg, high of -8 under mainly cloudy skies with that chance of snow. Similar throughout the rest of the region, a little cooler up in Barons River at -14. A little warmer down in Sprague, high of -4. And just over the border, a high of -6 in Kenora and Dryden. There, a little bit of sun and cloud as well. Taking a look at our 7-day forecast, getting up to -9 tomorrow under mix of sun and cloud. -14 on Sunday, dipping all the way down to -27 that night, before finally late next week getting on the plus side with a high of 3 on Thursday.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Discover Egg in the city, and I love your hat. It's cute.
Isn't it adorable? I had the ears on wrong. They said, you need to fix this before you go on air. So, yes, adorable as ever. Kristen Matwichuk joins us now from Manitoba Pork. Lots to learn. People are bumping around to the various commodities. Tell us about what you have available here on Sunday.
So one of the exciting things we have, of course, is our Oinko game. So it's a Plinko game, but all about pigs and pig farming. And then we're bringing a lot of giveaways. Did you want to try playing Oinko?
I don't think I have a choice. Let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it.
See where it drops. All right, so you got a number 3. Okay. I'll give you a softball to start. What do we call a baby pig?
A piglet.
Correct. That is right.
Ding, 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 ding. Sorry, I didn't ring a bell.
Thank you so much for playing. So when you come on Sunday to Discover Egg in the city, you can come play Oinko. We'll have some prizes to give away for kids or kids at heart. They can come and play Oinko too, learn a little bit about pigs and a little bit about pig farming.
Mm-hmm. And you want to tell people as well about the benefits of eating it. What are some of them?
You know, pork is a highly nutritious protein. It's very versatile and it's affordable, which people love. So we actually will have recipes here that use a bunch of different cuts of pork. So whatever you like and whatever you want to find in your grocery store, we have something for you that you can cook with pork.
What are some commonly asked questions that people have when they come to the booth?
You know, they like to talk about how big is a pig, right? All the way from a piglet to a full-grown sow. So we'll have questions like that. People want to know cooking tips, right? How do they make sure that their pork isn't dry? How can we make sure that it's juicy? How do we make sure it's cooked properly? So we can help with all of that on Sunday.
What's it supposed to look like? I'm a terrible cook. Like, how do you not make it dry is the question I should be asking.
You know, a meat thermometer does wonders. So using a meat thermometer, cooking right to that right temp, and then pulling it, letting rest, that's the best way to get juicy pork every time.
Before we're out of time, how else can people find you?
You can go to manitobapork.com. We have lots of information. And come on Sunday for Discover Egg in the City. We're going to be here all day on Sunday answering your questions, giving out giveaways, giving recipes, and other tips.
Okay. May I please do you have another one?
Yeah, I sure do.
Really quick. And it's hit. But unfortunately, we're out of time, so I can't answer that question. You're going to have to come at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Ainsley. It's long been said, if you look good, you feel good. And a group of volunteers on PEI is putting those words to action. Once a week, they wash and blow dry hair for hospital patients, grateful for such a simple act of kindness. Here's CTV's Maria Saru.
First, a few adjustments before volunteers pour warm water and check in.
You doing okay, Laura?
Their fingers work up a nice lather.
It's foamy.
Then they carefully rinse out shampoo and begin drying.
Did we get you wet?
Laura Livingston has been here for 13 months, but she says the time has flown by, partly because of this care. At Charlottetown's Queen Elizabeth Hospital, a team of women wash and blow dry patients' hair for free.
Does it feel good? Always.
Barbara Brazel looks forward to it all week. Recovering from a fractured leg, she can't do it herself.
It's refreshing. It's just like you come from the hairdressers. I'm so happy that they're here, and it just makes your day.
This volunteer team services Unit 8 every Thursday, and collectively they've put in nearly 12,600 hours, visiting almost 1,400 patients. For some, the work is a family affair, like for this mother and daughter duo.
It makes us feel good that we're contributing to their day.
For others, it spans decades. Gail McDonald has been at it for more than 50 years.
I love it. I enjoy people. I love to talk. Some families are far away. The little bit we can help them and enjoy with them makes a difference too.
Next week, the ladies will be back with brushes, blow dryers, and more comfort that goes beyond a good hair day. Maria Sru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Let's see you celebrating a milestone today. Happy 10th birthday, Aubrey Lynn. Love from Mama, Grandma, your big brothers, and the rest of the family. Happy 8th birthday, Emma Lee. Love always Mom, Papa, Auntie Wyatt, and Jonas. Happy 18th birthday, Hayden. Love Dad, Cord, Brody, and Taylor. Happy 82nd birthday to Frida with love from your family. Happy birthday, Leslie, with lots of love from Mom, Travis, Toby, and Cruz. Happy 60th birthday to Lorraine. Love London and the girls. Happy 11th birthday, Natalie. Love Papa and Baba. Happy 11th birthday, Jersey. Love Mom, Dad, Baba, and the rest of your family. Happy birthday, Kimberly. Love Bertha and Sean. Happy birthday, Lynn, with love from Ella, Phil, and Lilac. And a happy 95th birthday to Helen, with lots of love from your 4 boys, family, and friends. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
A high of -8 here in Winnipeg today, well below the average for this time of year of -1. We got all the way up to 3 degrees last year, short of that record, but sunrise time 7:47, so just a couple of minutes ago, and we're so close to that 12 hours of sunshine. That's what I'm looking forward to, because not a lot to look forward to today. Right now, -14, feeling more like -24 with the wind chill. Mainly clear skies out here with the wind out of the north. 24 gusting up to 38, and it is whipping through here. Not feeling too great. As I mentioned, high of -8 this afternoon, feeling closer to -13. We saw that snow last night. We could see a little more snow as we move through Friday into the afternoon. Tonight, dipping down to -15, so again, below average for this time of year, and over the weekend, staying below average temperatures. Now, next week, we have a chance of a bit more snow on Tuesday, but as we get into Wednesday and Thursday, we'll finally be on the positive side with highs of +1 and +3. So looking forward to that.
Thank you, Daniel. A new proposal at City Hall would see some of the property taxes gathered from infill developments reinvested back into the community. If successful, the plan would see 80% of property taxes collected from new 2, 3, or 4 unit homes directed into a new fund called the Neighborhood Infill Benefits Reserve. That money would then be used for local amenities like parks or recreation areas. Local organizations would also be able to apply for a share of the money. The reserve fund would be in place for 5 years initially, with an option to extend.
These funds replace what used to be a 10% cash in lieu contribution that developers would make, and area councillors could use those funds to upgrade parks and playgrounds. Well, now with the new as of right rules, that 10% is not available anymore. This new Neighborhood Infill Benefit Reserve Fund would recapture some of those revenues.
The Public Service estimates it could collect anywhere between $136,000 and $490,000 a year. The Executive Policy Committee will discuss this plan on Tuesday. W5 is on the trail of insurance fraudsters staging crashes for profit. A surge in these crimes has led to huge payouts for criminals who are sometimes connected to organized crime. As CTV's John Woodward reports, insurance companies are asking for ways to put an end to the payouts.
This vehicle is being unloaded in an insurance facility near Toronto. Part of a group of cars that were damaged in crashes and are write-offs destined for scrap. But before they get destroyed, they've got to be examined for evidence, because police suspected the stories behind these crashes were lies.
We had an officer that noticed it.
Detective David Jasiak is with Durham Regional Police's Serious Financial Crimes Unit. He says a sergeant spotted a common thread in dozens of crashes and flagged them for an investigation into whether they had been staged to get insurance money. That led to multiple charges and to insights into how schemes like these work.
They will purchase this vehicle cheap. Sometimes the vehicles are already smashed up.
What kind of money are we talking about here?
I had a case where a payout was $40,000.
$40,000 on just one car. A set of videos obtained from multiple cameras in this car in the spring of 2025 shows how this can work from all angles. A car edges into the intersection of a country road and then waits. Another car approaches, and then a crash.
Here, the damage is pretty significant. That would write the car off.
Aviva insurance investigator Mike Cardillo dug into the history of some 60 cars he says were connected to the scheme to block payouts he says could have been in the millions.
I think the story on this one was the individual was driving on a country road, swerved to miss an animal, and went into a ditch and hit a tree.
Was that true?
It was not true.
Police say some alleged fraudsters belong to violent criminal groups. Last summer, more than 50 charges were laid against one alleged group, including gun charges and extortion.
It's a danger to the public that this is happening.
Aviva Insurance's Jamie Lee says they're seeing a 400% surge in staged collisions, and says rules in one hotspot, Ontario, mean they must offer coverage to a customer even if their own investigation has found that customer may have been part of a scam.
Right now, the insurers are actually unable to take action when someone has been identified for fraud.
So you're saying right now somebody could come in on Monday with a fake crash, try and scam you out of tens of thousands of dollars, And on Tuesday, they can just try it again?
Yeah, so it's very difficult right now for us to actually take action and to take them off risk.
Ontario's insurance regulator says companies can still investigate suspicious crashes, but says blacklisting customers isn't allowed, saying the insurer's allegations are not a finding of fraud, and under Canadian law, individuals are presumed innocent until a court determines otherwise. Ontario's minister responsible hinted he was open to changing this.
If there's a bad actor out there, we're going after the bad actor in consultation with the insurance companies, with our great police officers.
Detective Jasiak says he's tired of first responders wasting their time on these bogus crashes.
What's it like for you to see all that effort for something that's fake?
Yeah, it's aggravating. You had fire department, ambulance, police. So you've got 3 frontline emergency services tied up for a lie.
He's hoping for a change so crime like this doesn't pay.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. And for it, we go to Canadian Shea Gilgeous-Alexander making history. Thunder taking on the Celtics. SGA sitting on 19 points. He hits the long jumper for his 127th consecutive game, scoring at least 20 points, passing Wilt Chamberlain's record that had stood for over 63 years. Shea's current streak started all the way back on November 1st, 2024. An unbelievable moment for the Hamilton, Ontario native. He is your must-see moment from Thursday. And coming up tonight, we got the Raptors back in action. They're trying to snap that 2-game slide they're on hosting the Phoenix Suns. Coverage gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Friday, March 13th. Today, donor deaths. Why 2 people died after donating plasma in Winnipeg and what Health Canada is doing. Plus, online powers. How a new federal bill would give police quicker access to digital evidence. And Jets struggle. Winnipeg falls 6-3 to the Rangers as playoff hopes hang in the balance. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock on your Friday. Happy Friday to you. We made it to the end of the week, and coming up at 8:27, there's a pool tournament happening this weekend, and it's all in support of a great cause. It's for the Toba Center. It's a fundraiser, and it's a fun event. It's not very competitive. It's a friendly competition. So we're going to find out a little bit more about that. As well, at 8:45, we're going to hear about a brand new online Ukrainian directory where you can access all kinds of Ukrainian businesses that are new to town, but that are offering really great services as well. So we're going to talk about that.
Can you toggle by food?
Maybe.
Right?
I think you can, actually. And haircuts. You can look up home renovations. You can look up pierogi, whatever you want.
I love
We're
that.
gonna have details on that. But the weather, you might need some comfort food because it's kind of cool this weekend.
Yeah, it's another cold weekend here in Winnipeg. It's minus 14. Look at the sun, though, blazing right now. Feeling more like minus 24. Wind out of the north at 24, gusting up to 38. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 75%. We saw between 4 and 8 centimeters of snow yesterday here in Winnipeg and surrounding area. Taking a look at Manitoba highways this morning, some partly covered, but nothing closed, which is a great thing. But if you are going to be out on the highways, take those necessary precautions just in case. As for the next few hours, we could see a little bit more snowfall here in southern Manitoba today. Nothing of note, just a little sprinkle here and there. Now, partly cloudy skies through Friday, clearing a little bit overnight into Saturday, but it's going to be a cold weekend ahead, as Rochelle mentioned. Clearing a little more on Sunday when we finally get there on the map. There we go. But again, cold to end the work week. Minus 8 today with that chance of snow, dipping down to minus 15 tonight, getting all the way down to minus 14 on Sunday, even colder Sunday night, minus 27. There is a chance of some snow on Tuesday with a high of minus 6. And then Wednesday, Thursday, above 0. Finally, our weather art of the day, though, this is from 8-year-old Taylin. Thank you so much for sending that in. Now, to submit your child's weather art of the day, visit our website and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and we'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Keniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
2 people are dead in separate incidents after donating plasma for money in Winnipeg. Health Canada confirms a review is underway into the deaths, which occurred over a 3-month span between October last year and January this year. But the company that runs the operation says it doesn't believe the deaths are linked to the donations.
Options will remain on the table. We're going to await the findings of the investigation.
The deaths happened at 2 Grifols locations, one on October 25th last year at Taylor Avenue and the other on January 30th at Innovation Drive. Health Canada says it is still assessing the reports and no connection has been found between the donations and the deaths. And Grifols tells CTV News that donors receive health checks before giving plasma and that the procedure is generally low risk. Donors can earn up to $100 per visit and may be entered to win prizes. The province says banning paid plasma is being considered.
Banning paid plasma is on the table for our government. Our top priority is the safety and well-being of Manitobans.
A GoFundMe for one of the individuals who died identifies her as 22-year-old Rodiyat Alabede, an international student who hoped to become a social worker. Health Canada says they conducted on-site visits at both locations, reviewed records, and confirmed proper staff and procedures were in place. The Winnipeg Jets came up short at home last night. They lost 6-3 to the New York Rangers.
Flurry, Bryson shoots, score! Bryson shot it. It might be Roseanne's. Either way, the two.
Isaac Rosane, Kyle Connor, and Gabe Velarde scored for Winnipeg. Rosane also picked up his first point as a Jet, tipping in a shot from defenseman Jacob Bryson early in the second period. The game was tied 3-3 early in the third, but the Rangers took control, scoring 3 straight goals, including the game winner from Gabe Perreault. The loss is Winnipeg's second straight. The Jets are now 6 points back of the final wildcard spot in the Western Conference. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic on St. Mary's Road. Things have really picked up over here, moving quite well overall, though. If you see any issues out on the streets, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Ainsley, I love having eggs in the morning, and you are discovering egg in the city, and we're going to talk about where our food comes from. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. There's games, there's giveaways, and yeah, like you mentioned, great source of protein and super easy for the folks who aren't the best at cooking. Adriana's joining us now, and she's going to provide some insight as to what can happen when you come to discover egg in the city. Something new.
Yes, so we have this year a egg trivia game that we're going to launch at the event on Sunday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's true and false questions, very consumer friendly, great FAQ sort of facts about eggs that are really fun. So you spin the wheel and we'll ask you a true or false question and you can win a prize on Sunday. So Sunday we're going to have 2 egg farmers join us for the day along with our Manitoba Egg Farmer staff, which is going to be a lot of fun for us. So you can ask all of your questions that you'd ever wanted to ask an egg farmer. You'll be able to speak with a regulated egg farmer on Sunday. We're also going to be handing out crushed eggshells. We've noticed that it's become a very popular item at this event. Lots of folks want to start their spring gardens, and they're really excited to receive some of our crushed eggshells. So we have them here. They're really good to add calcium to soil beds for vegetable gardens and as a pest deterrent as well.
I'm such a kid. I'm like, oh, checks out. You're also, we talked about the recipes too. There's different options. That's what I love about eggs, the versatility. You're giving people some ideas too.
That's right. So we are actually launching a brand new booklet we have at the event. It's called Global Foods Around the World. So using eggs, like you said, versatile recipes. So we have savory, we have sweet, and they're featured recipes from all different countries, which is really awesome in Manitoba.
Oh, I really like that. Before we're out of time, and we probably have like 45 seconds. That's how long it'll take me to answer this question. We'll just have dead noise. True or false, the best before before date means eggs must be thrown out on that date. I'm going to say true to be safe.
It's false. So best before date would be the egg quality. So if you are looking for a very fresh egg, if you are doing a fried egg or you're making angel food cake, you need those very high egg whites. You want the best egg. However, you can use it after the best before date as long as there's no cracks.
Okay, just make sure it doesn't smell, okay?
Yeah,
back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. A Canadian woman jailed in South Korea and her family's desperate fight for her release. Her daughters say their hearing-impaired mom from Metro Vancouver was manipulated and exploited in a romance scam. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
The last month and a half for sisters Andrea and Laureen Parks hasn't seemed real ever since they received a stunning 3 a.m. text from their mom.
You're kind of just like in shock. Yeah. You don't know what to do with that information or if it's true or what's happening, and your whole body's just like overwhelmed.
The message was hard to believe.
Just said she was detained in South Korea as a drug mule. She thought that she was in love with somebody, but I guess not, and she had no idea.
In a panic, Spring Park's girls sought out a lawyer in the region who found out where their mom was being held and told them she'd first flown from Vancouver to South Africa, met someone there who gave her the luggage before she flew on to South Korea. That's when authorities discovered 4 kilograms of methamphetamine hidden in the bottom of her bag. Vancouver lawyer Richard Kurland says it appears to be a highly organized plot.
The victim was selected, the contraband was introduced in transit, and the person's paying the price in detention.
The family's legal team believes Spring Parks is the victim of a romance scam, manipulated by someone she met online and fell in love with to unwittingly deliver drugs overseas.
They're master manipulators. They've done this for a while and they know who to target, and it seems to be older women who are vulnerable and lonely.
Her daughters believe Parks made an easy target because she's deaf and very trusting. Now she could face years in prison.
They take narcotics seriously. And so the consequence under Korean law appears to be minimum 5 years imprisonment if found guilty.
Kurland says it's possible Parks could receive a lesser sentence if it can be proven she's been victimized. Global Affairs Canada tells CTV News consular officials are providing assistance. Andrea and Laureen are trying to stay positive.
We're just 2 daughters trying to get our mom back.
They are also trying to figure out how to pay for legal bills and the cost of an American Sign Language interpreter. They've already vacated their mom's home and sold off most of her belongings to help raise money, and the family has launched a GoFundMe. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Minus 15 outside right now, feeling closer to minus 24 with the wind chill. Mainly clear skies, the wind shifting a little bit now out of the north-northwest at 19 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 79%. Looks sunny out there, but it's a lot colder than it looks. Looking around the province and just over the border in Kenora, minus 12 right now. Minus 15 here in Winnipeg. A little warmer up in Gimli now, minus 14. Minus 12 up in Fisher Branch. To our west, minus 13 in Portage la Prairie. Minus 20 out in Brandon right now. Cool start to the day there. Minus 18 up in Swan River and cold. Minus 24 in the Paw. Up north, minus 31 in Thompson, minus 35 in Lynn Lake, minus 34 in Churchill as well. And those wind chill values up north in the minus 40 range. Here in the south, a little bit less concerning, but still cold nonetheless. Now, not much to show you overnight on the Skywatch satellite. We saw that snow come in yesterday evening, 4 to 8 centimeters estimated by Environment and Climate Change Canada. And as kids head to school today, we could see just a little bit of snow as we move through the day. Not much to not much accumulation, but regardless existing. And as they come home from school to start the weekend, -9. Here in Winnipeg, getting up to -8 under those mainly cloudy skies, cooling off again over the weekend before finally getting into plus temperatures mid next week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
With no end in sight, the war in Iran is likely to cast a shadow over the mandatory review of the Canada-US-Mexico agreement on trade, but could ultimately offer Canada more leverage in those talks, according to one expert. If you're sitting in Washington and you're seeing what's happening to global markets, you're going to be looking at your secure producers and suppliers perhaps slightly differently from the way you might have been looking at them before the conflict began, which was solely in tariff terms, said Fen Osler Hampson, a professor of international affairs at Carleton University in Ottawa and co-chair of the expert group on Canada-U.S. relations. Honda shares are down after the Japanese automaker said it anticipated up to $15.7 billion U.S. in expenses and losses related to the reassessment of its electric vehicle strategy. Honda says it decided to cancel the launches and development of some models in response to a slowdown in the North American EV market, and the company also expects to book impairment losses on investments in China due to heightened competition. This would be the first loss for the company since it started reporting 50 years ago. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Today is Friday the 13th, and it's a day often associated with superstitions and scary stories. But why is that? And where in history did the date become so taboo? University of Manitoba's Department of Classics professor Harrison Gray joins us now to tell us more about Friday the 13th and its ancient roots. Good morning, Harrison.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, today, of course, is Friday the 13th. We also had a Friday the 13th fall last month in February. How common is it to have two back-to-back months with a Friday the 13th?
It's relatively uncommon. With the Gregorian calendar, there's usually one or two per year, but this year is somewhat unique because I think there's 4 this year, so it's a bit unusual this year, but it does happen on a fairly regular cycle of about every 20-25 years.
Okay, so why is Friday the 13th considered a spooky day?
Well, that is a complicated question. So there's lots of theories about the origin of it, and nobody really agrees. Probably the most popular one that most people are aware of is the messaging around the Knights Templar in this event that happened in 1305 on Friday the 13th, where King Philip of France attempts to destroy the members of the Knights Templar, and that happens on a Friday the 13th. And so there's a lot of kind of Christian origins to this story. And another example is that 13 is kind of a taboo kind of number in Christianity. The Last Supper, Judas is the 13th attendant. And we kind of all know what happens there. And also, it's believed by Christian scholars that the battle between Cain and Abel happened on a Friday. And also, according to legend, Adam and Eve ate the apple, allegedly, on a Friday. So, it's kind of this mishmash of kind of different things. But what we recognize as kind of Friday the 13th kind of originated in French and British literature of the 19th century.
Okay, even elevators don't have a number 13. Is that all related to that?
It's all related to this taboo kind of superstition association with the number 13.
Okay, well, we just saw a bunch of video that showed different kinds of superstitions that people are worried about, like breaking mirrors, black cats, walking under ladders, those kinds of things. How did those kinds of superstitions get associated with the 13th and Friday the 13th?
So those are more recent manifestations, black cats and whatnot. That's generally associated with witchcraft, which again is kind of originates in this medieval kind of period. Mirrors, that's a little bit different. That goes back to the ancient world, and like mirrors were quite expensive, and they were actually made of glass. They were made of polished bronze, and so to break one was quite a symbol, a bad omen, if you were. Okay. And so, but a lot of these perceptions started around like 1907 and have kind of moved through popular culture since then.
And so believing in stuff like this, does it really affect the way we see the world and our reality?
So people that believe this very much believe that it does. But if we look at like statistics and different types of things, like there's no kind of spike on Friday the 13th with regards to accidents or hospital admissions or any of these kinds of things. But a lot of people do take this very seriously.
Okay, well, Harrison, thank you for sharing this with us, and happy Friday the 13th to you.
Thank you, same to you.
Let's go now to Daniel Homerton, who's on the rooftop. How's it feeling out there?
Well, I've been laughing the last few minutes. Those videos were kind of hilarious. Made it a little more entertaining.
Throwing the salt over the shoulder.
Yeah. And the one guy was just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but absolutely loved it. Made this rooftop visit a little more entertaining, as it is still pretty cold out here. Minus 15, feeling more like minus 24, with those northwest winds at 19 kilometers per hour. Blue skies right now, that's a positive. Pressurizing humidity sitting at 79%. Over the next few hours, we could see a little bit more snow. We saw 4 to 8 centimeters last night. Clouds should be rolling in as well as we move through Friday up to a high of minus 8. Going to feel more like minus 13 this afternoon. And then tonight dipping down to minus 15, feeling closer to minus 23. So another cold night ahead here in Winnipeg. It's going to be a cold weekend ahead as well. Finally, as we get into next week, we'll get a little closer to seasonal average temperatures and then over zero Wednesday and Thursday. Our Skywatch pick of the day is from Sherry Ann over Blue Cross Park there. Keep those pictures coming in, and we'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
People will be racking up pool balls and breaking them for a great cause this weekend. An annual friendly pool tournament fundraiser is back Saturday, and it's all meant to support kids at the Toba Center, and you don't have to be a pool shark to take part. Joining us now are the event organizer, Leanne Snidel and Christy Dekowitz from the Toba Center. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having us.
So, Lee, how did you get started with this whole thing 7 years ago?
Well, I actually started with Toba Center when they first opened their doors, and when I first learned what they were going to be doing, I wanted to be a part of that.
Okay.
For the kids. It's all the kids. So in 2015, that was my first tournament, and I tapped into what I knew because I play in a pool league. So I know the people, and we just built from there, and they're so supportive. And I get non-pool players. Yeah, it's awesome.
So your passion for pool, where did that come from?
I have been playing in the league for 23 years.
Wow,
yeah,
okay. So you really know how to take some good shots.
Well, I hold my own.
She's good. She's good.
Yeah. And so you decided to do this fundraiser, and
Yes.
a lot of people show up for you.
Yes, they do. And I'm forever humbled and grateful because I tap into my family, my friends, my business community, the business community as a whole. I have a lot of new donors this year, and that's
amazing.
It blows me away.
This community really rallies together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It takes a village.
Okay.
It takes a village.
So, Chrissy, let's talk about this money, because 7 years of fundraising for you, this partnership is incredible. What does it mean to the kids, and where does the money go?
Well, I mean, we're always fundraising for Toba Center. The more money we can raise from our community, the better, in terms of being able to support kids over time, support their families over time. And I think for us, it's such a fun event, but it is really nice because Leanne's got a whole network that we didn't have, right? And that's part of what's really nice about the Manitoba community, is like just extending that reach and bringing in people from all over the place. So through her, we have this whole group of supporters that we might not have had before. And you know, it's a mighty group. She raises incredible, funds at these events for what is a small / big event.
Yeah.
They come out and they're just extraordinarily generous, and Leanne is very, very good at communicating the message of Toba Centre and what it means to support kids who've experienced things that they should never, have to go through. I think it makes a world of difference to kids to know that their community is behind them, not just all of the, professionals that rally around them at Toba Centre.
Okay, so paint a picture. What does this look like? What's the vibe in this place tomorrow?
It is absolutely crazy. So in the morning, starting at 11, we have the singles tournament. So that's one-on-one play. So you go through the round robin, and then a winner, first and second place winner is declared at the end of the session, which hopefully is finished by 6.
Okay.
Then we take a deep breath and we start up with the Scotch doubles at 7, and that's it's a little bit more of a fun atmosphere because it's a lot of non-pool players.
Okay. So that's when Christy gets to shine.
That's right. Leanne gave me a lesson this year, and I have a marked improvement. Not much, but a little bit.
So it's a blast. It's a good time.
It is. It's a huge energy vibe, and I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
So we're almost out of time already. If somebody is interested in either supporting the cause or going to play some pool tomorrow, what do they need to know?
They can register with me at tobafundraising2024@gmail.com.
Okay.
I only have 13 spots left in singles.
It's Friday the 13th,
I know, right? And I only have 3 team spots left. I do have a silent auction.
Okay.
It's amazing. And I have 2 50-50 draws that are going to happen throughout the day. And if you choose to come down, which I really, really hope that you do to support, bring a brand new toy.
Awesome.
For the kids at Toba Centre.
Well, if you want more information, we also have a link on our website. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Here's a look outside at the St. James Bridge. It looks like it's a good start to your Friday morning. Things are moving smoothly on the streets. We're going to be back right after this.
Minus 15 outside right now, feeling closer to minus 24. Fairly clear skies with plenty of sunshine. The wind out of the north-northwest at 19 clicks. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 79%. We did get that snow yesterday, a little later than I thought we would, but 4 to 8 centimeters or so here in Winnipeg and much of southern Manitoba. Environment and Climate Change Canada shared a couple snowfall totals with us, but mainly estimates. We could see a little bit more snowfall here in southern Manitoba today. Up north, a little clearer, a little sunnier. Here in Winnipeg, high of minus 8, going to feel more like minus 13 with the wind chill. A chance of light snow throughout the afternoon. Wind out of the north, 30 gusting up to 50, so going to feel a little cold, a little bitter to end the work week. Tonight, dipping down to minus 15. Those winds easing up at least out of the southwest at 15 kilometers per hour under partly cloudy skies. Waking up tomorrow, getting all the way up to a balmy minus 9 with the wind remaining fairly light, mostly cloudy. And looking at the rest of the weekend, minus 14 on Sunday under partly cloudy skies. Very cold Sunday night, minus 27. Minus 11 on Monday under partly cloudy skies. Chances some snow on Tuesday, and then finally above 0 Wednesday and Thursday with highs of 1 and 3.
We have breaking news. We're getting another snapshot at Canada's job market. StatsCan just released its job numbers for February. The economy lost 84,000 jobs last month. This follows a loss of 25,000 jobs in January. The unemployment rate rose to 6.7%. Thousands of Manitoba kids are not going to school. That's what newly released numbers show, but those numbers were not made public by the province. And an independent MLA calls it a cover-up.
A lot of the roots of Manitoba problems start with youth not being in school. And if the government refuses to do this, what exactly are they doing?
Thousands of students are missing class. MLA Mark Wasilou released a report this week after a Freedom of Information request was denied. He obtained the data from an undisclosed source in the NDP government. It shows severe chronic absenteeism from kindergarten to grade 12 in the 2023-24 school year. Mallory Pledger, director at Inner City Youth Alive, says barriers keep kids out of class.
Chronic absenteeism is something students experience when there are multiple barriers keeping them from being engaged in the classroom.
The data shows approximately 15,000 students with severe chronic absenteeism, with high schoolers missing 20 classes and K-8 students missing 20% of school days. 61% of K-12 students and 58% of high schoolers identify as Indigenous. Pledger says this is a major issue for graduation rates. On Thursday, Education Minister Tracy Schmidt said outcomes are inequitable and highlighted a $30 million school nutrition investment to get kids back to class. She says she's concerned about the numbers, but did not commit to releasing more data. The federal government announced new legislation Thursday to give police and CSIS new power to access evidence online and act on it more quickly. It's the second attempt from this government after facing major pushback from privacy advocates. Here's CTV's Rachel Aiello with what's at stake.
The federal government unveiled a new bill proposing to grant police powers to lawfully access information from telecommunications companies.
Something that law enforcement, security services, and organizations supporting victims have been asking for decades.
Bill C-22, if passed, would require these companies to confirm if they provide service to a suspected person. If so, police could seek a production order for that person's name, address, and phone number.
It is not about surveillance of Canadians going on about their daily lives. It is about keeping Canadians safe in the online space.
The bill also revamps warrant powers for computer searches and proposes to allow Canadian law enforcement to request information from foreign social media and AI companies.
Some of the key and critical components of this proposed legislation allow us to advance our investigations where previously there was no pathway forward.
The government says these changes are needed to keep up with advances in technology, modern crime, and with our allies.
Lawful access currently is as important as forensics is.
The legislation would also grant the minister new powers to compel providers to maintain specific capabilities such as tracking locations, and failure to comply could result in fines or other penalties.
30 years ago, every investigative room in this country had a phone book. The world has changed. And the home address now is an IP address.
A previous version of this legislation was halted over blowback from civil liberty groups and opposition MPs, who said it was overly broad and risked infringing on Canadians' privacy.
This version of the bill does a far better job of narrowing the type of information they can get and under what circumstances.
Senior officials who briefed reporters on the bill insisted this version upholds charter protections. The minister is now calling on opposition MPs to help pass it expeditiously.
Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Donald Street. It looks like things are moving well. If you see any issues, send us a text, please. And let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.56. The provincial average is $1.51. In Winnipeg, it's higher at $1.52. And the lowest price in the city is $1.41. All this info is on GasBuddy.com. It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Tomorrow is Pie Day, so we asked, what's your favorite pie? Janet says lemon meringue and pecan pie. Saskatoon pie with whipped cream on top, says Jason. Susan loves raisin pie. Lemon meringue is Addie's favorite. April likes homemade rhubarb with meringue. Pumpkin pie with a lot of whipped topping, and classic apple pie warmed up with vanilla ice cream is Stacy's favorite pie. Jean likes caramel apple pie. Favorite pies for Pat would be banana cream or peach cream pie, both with some whipped cream on top. Jim's favorite pie is strawberry rhubarb. Marlene likes rhubarb pie and coconut cream pie. A viewer shared blueberry pie in Ojibwe. Humble pie is Dan's answer. Paul likes cherry pie with a lattice top and French vanilla ice cream. Debbie's favorite pie is mincemeat with vanilla ice cream. Sandy's favorite pie is Saskatoon. Sylvie's two favorite pies are Saskatoon berry pie and key lime pie with whipped cream on top. Michelle's favorite is raisin. Phoebe and Felicity shared, I like apple pie. And my sister likes apple pie from McDonald's. And Melody loves any kind of pie, but her favorite pie is any cream pie, such as chocolate, banana, or coconut cream pie. Thank you so much for your responses.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
And if you're making pie tomorrow, many of the ingredients that you will have to use will come from Manitoba farmers. Ainsley is telling us all about Discover Ag in the City. Good morning.
Good morning. 4-H Manitoba is doing lots of work to engage the youth in this. Jean Piazza joins us now to tell us all about it. So what's going on with the 4-H group?
Good morning, Ainsley. As part of Ag in the City, we have Clover, our specialized model of a cow. So just picture a cow standing beside me here. Clover's on her way into Winnipeg right now. Clover was purchased by Manitoba 4-H, the co-op, Manitoba Agriculture, Manitoba Ag Days, Crop Connect, and Manitoba Beef Producers. What Clover is, it's a specialized model to provide hands-on learning for our beef members and Manitoba beef producers to have experience helping the cow with the birthing process. So we can simulate a calf inside the cow in different positions, in potentially difficult positions, and give members and producers a hands-on experience pulling that calf out if it's needed.
How big is this cow? Because it's on the way from Brandon right now. So if you're driving down the highway and you see a cow, it's on its way to the outlet mall.
She would have been here in true livestock form. The snow held her up yesterday, so she's in a trailer. She's the size of a regular cow, but in an enclosed trailer on her way.
No, I pictured that. That's super funny, though. Yeah. How big is this cow? I want to know.
About the size of almost full height to us and full cow size.
So for the kids, what is the big idea here in engaging them? They love tactile things, hands-on, but what do you really want them to take out of this when they come by?
This is actually a tool for hands-on learning. So the calf is real size, the cow is real size, and to help them learn how to assist a cow giving birth in a difficult situation.
How many people are in this 4-H group?
4-H in Manitoba, we have 1,400 members in 110 clubs across the province, assisted by about 450 volunteers, and nationally much bigger than that.
Wow. Anything else you want people to know? It kicks off at 11 a.m. on Sunday.
So we will have two members from our 4-H, the University of Manitoba Future Leaders Club. They'll have two members here presenting what 4-H does and answer any questions people may have and how to get involved. 4-H is all about empowering young people with skills to lead for a lifetime. And they run, when 4-H members are involved, they are leading their clubs, not the parents. The leaders are there to assist in the technical training, but the kids lead the club.
Thank you so much. And if you see a trailer driving down the highway on the way back from Brandon, might be a fake cow.
Well, thank you so much for that. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Yeah, that snow did affect the arrival of that cow, and we are likely going to get more today.
A little bit more snow could happen throughout all of southern Manitoba as we get into Friday. Now, checking highways a little earlier, some partly covered, but nothing to worry about for that cow. As for here in Winnipeg, minus 15, feeling more like minus 24 with the wind chill. Fairly clear skies right now. The wind out of the northwest at 19 kilometers per hour, getting up to around minus 8 this afternoon. Still going to feel more like minus 13 with that wind chill. Chance of some light snow. Nothing really accumulating. So again, that cow should have a nice, safe trip here into Winnipeg. As we head into tonight, dipping down to minus 15, feeling closer to minus 23 with the wind chill. Tomorrow around minus 9, partly cloudy skies, and even colder on Sunday, the high of around minus 14. So well below seasonal average temperatures for this time in March. But later next week, we will finally see some warmer temperatures. But don't go away. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Blood clots are the third leading cause of cardiovascular death in Canada. There are 2 commonly used drug treatments, and groundbreaking research at the Ottawa Hospital just put them to the test to see which is better for patients. CTV's Peter Sperling reports.
Probably would have died.
Janice Duval's quick actions likely saved her life.
It was this, and I just couldn't breathe properly, and that's when I called 911.
help arrived. She says one of the last things she remembers before getting to the hospital.
The ambulance attendant said, "Look at the size of her foot."
It was a blood clot in her leg that moved into her lungs.
Blood clots are very unforgiving once you get them and they start to travel. It can kill you.
Guidelines recommend patients recovering use a blood thinner. Now, thanks to research led by the Ottawa Hospital, the choice between two commonly used drugs may be clearer.
One of the biggest side effects that we worry about with blood thinners is bruising and bleeding concerns. And we found that apixaban, one of the blood thinners we use very commonly, has fewer bleeding events compared to rivaroxaban.
According to the Ottawa Hospital, it's the first clinical trial to put these two drugs used to treat blood clots head-to-head. It found apixaban is a clear winner.
And the results are very exciting. We have shown that one blood thinner is safer with respect to fewer bleeding complications than another blood thinner.
The international clinical trial, with nearly 2,800 participants from around the world, now published in the New England Journal of Medicine.
This is very exciting for all of us. This is something that we feel will change clinical practice guidelines.
The hospital says the research is important for physicians and patients like Duval.
I think it's wonderful.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Thank you.
When Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine 4 years ago, it's estimated 30,000 Ukrainians came to Manitoba. Many of those people have made a new home here and also established their own businesses. A new online directory includes details on Ukrainian-owned businesses offering all kinds of services, including real estate, auto repairs, and even home renovations. It's called the Ukrainian Guide to Winnipeg. Joining us now to tell us more about this online directory is Mila Shakota. Good morning, Mila.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for the invitation.
Now, this directory, what inspired you to do this in the first place?
1 year ago, I created a directory for my colleagues at work. I initiated a project celebration our diversity. Since our team is very multicultural, I invited everyone to represent their own country with cuisine, culture, heritage, and something interesting. And I thought that it would be great to collect all Ukrainian restaurants in Winnipeg so that my colleagues can come and try Ukrainian food or buy Ukrainian souvenirs. And I created a small booklet. At the same time, I thought that we have not only businesses with locations, with offices, but also very talented individuals who provide services or produce goods, homemade meals, or handmade gifts, for example, right? And I need to collect everyone together, so that's why the idea about the directory was born.
Okay, and the directory is not just newcomers. It includes all kinds of businesses that are Ukrainian here in this community.
Exactly. It features, at the moment, 138 businesses, and it continues, grows every day. I every day add new business. It includes restaurants, moving service, beauty services, cleaning service, dentists. I don't know. It's categorized into 28 categories, where home improvement is the biggest one. And you can find, for example, if you are looking for dishwasher repair or flooring, windows installation, door replacement, everything you are looking for, you can find them just using a search bar. It is a very easy way. Just put the keyword. It works like a Google. There is a search bar, and if you put a keywords, for example, haircut Transcona, or children's haircut downtown, or Ukrainian food Sant Vital. You even can write area where you're living for, or just pierogies or borscht, and you will find everything in Winnipeg.
Why is it important for people to support Ukrainian businesses in this community?
Because Ukrainians are an excellent value for money, and individuals often less expensive than a big company. You know, when you are looking for car repair, automotive service, for example, you can call to individual, and he will provide a high quality service and cheaper than a big company.
Wow.
So like a self-employed.
So there are many perks for people to use this service. Not only are you supporting local business, but you're also supporting the little guy, right?
Yes, I connect Google Analytics to the platform, and I see that since it launched on February 1st, About 2,000 people have visited the directory. It means that it is working.
Yeah.
And several businesses told me that their clients found them through the catalog.
Okay, so right now it's not that easy to search it over Google, so you need to go through a social media platform to find it.
Yes, unfortunately, it is not a website. It is a software platform. It is a free platform. It takes time. It appears in Google. About 3 months.
Okay, so it's coming.
Yes.
So if you want more information, we do have a link on our website where you can find all the details that Mila is talking about. Mila, thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Just welcome to you.
Yeah.
Minus 15 outside in Winnipeg right now, feeling closer to minus 24 with that wind chill. Fairly clear skies, that's a positive. The wind out of the north-northwest at 19 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 79%. We saw some snow yesterday, 4 to 8 centimeters throughout southern Manitoba over the last few hours. Not much to show you on the satellite, the Skywatch satellite. And as we head into the rest of the week, it is Friday, so minus 8 high today. Chance of a little bit of snow this afternoon, dipping down to minus 15 overnight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high of minus 9. Cold again overnight. Sunday, only a high of minus 14, dipping all the way down to minus 27. But fast forward to Wednesday and Thursday's highs of 1 and 3 degrees. We'll be right back with more CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to wrap up this Friday the 13th with some fun video. 2 African leopard cubs, 1 male and 1 female, were born at a zoo in Mexico, and they're adorable. They were born last month because of their mom's advanced age. They're being hand-reared with a special milk formula, which would have anyone thinking, is there any better job than hand-feeding these tiny leopard cubs?
I would sign up in a heartbeat.
I would love that too. Well, a rural corner of Catalonia has turned pink as their fruit trees come into blossom. Local officials believe 20,000 people come out every year to take in these sights. Their peach and nectarine trees are at their peak bloom right now. The display is even sometimes compared to the famous cherry blossom season in Japan. It's gorgeous.
Very cool.
Yeah. Now looking at this pranking partner. Loves scaring his wife, but it takes some work, obviously. Oh my gosh, look at this. What? Does he have a job? Look at him. Oh my gosh, that's wild. Well, this next video is not a prank, but it's still hilarious. No. Kate Hardman was helping her daughter go down their backyard zip line when her pants fell down. Even though she was mid-moon and laughing uncontrollably, she did not let go of her little one.
That would have been me on Wednesday if you didn't have that safety pin for my pants.
Thank goodness for the safety pin. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday.